So, let's talk about... Wait, this is the third one. Does it need an introduction? I mean, I made GoldenEye and Counter-Strike themed builds for Payday 2 and people liked them. Then I did TF2 and Fallout New Vegas themed builds and people liked them. Can I go for 3? Am I allowed to go for 3? Killing Floor and Payday are competing games, their sequels especially, as competing as you can get for a 3-year gap between the two releases. And, I mean, fans enjoy both historically, so it's not really a competition. I personally never played much Killing Floor. The first game left a really bitter impression on me, but Killing Floor 2 is a bit of a sweeter deal. When I got to work translating my favorite class in Killing Floor 2 to Payday 2, Berserker, I knew this would be a great build. And then I swung one melee in Payday 2, and I threw away that entire plan. I mean, for Christ's sake, A Hat in Time does better melee combat than Payday 2, and... Oh, wait, that's the same engine as Killing Floor 2, isn't it? Yeah, they're both Unreal 3. Wait, oh god, there was another game that was Unreal 3. Oh, it was a... Hail to the Chimp. The political party fighting game, Hail to the Chimp. That was Unreal 3. What's even going on? So, Berserker was straight out the window, so I instead made a very educated decision. I weighed all my different options, and I went with the Commando as a character class to emulate in Payday 2. The Commando in Killing Floor 2 places an emphasis on assault rifles, with perks that increase the reload speed, magazine size, damage, and the Commando's health and armor. Additionally, the Commando has night vision and can see cloaked enemies. The Commando excels at using weapons like the M16-203, the L85A2, the SCAR-H, and the AK-12, which is presented in Payday 2 as the AK-17. This modern redesign of the Kalashnikov is sleek and modern, which, while the thing got funded by the Russian government near the start of the new 10s, they have millions of AK-74s, and it seems to me that this was more of a polite gesture than completely redoing their entire arsenal. The AK-17 in-game is not unlike the AK-762, but with marginally better stats all across the board. It's got a bit of a bigger magazine, a bit faster, it's a bit stronger, it's a bit more stable, and it's got a bit of a better pickup rate. While it doesn't fire at 1,000 rounds per minute like the Killing Floor AK in burst fire mode, and it lacks a burst fire mode in general because Payday, it's still a really dependable battle rifle that needs an ammo bag less often than its contemporaries. Despite the Payday 2 branding saying it has tons of mods, it's all the same AK stuff we've always ever had, just with fewer stock and foregrip options. Even then, a tactical compensator, LED combo, aluminum grip, speed pull mag, a -1 sight, and the 2-piece stock will get us to dependable accuracy and stability numbers, make our reload lightning quick, and give us plenty of firepower whether we're single firing or dumping the whole mag into a bulldozer's face. It wouldn't be a Killing Floor build without the HM Tech 101 Medicine Dart Pistol, and I've got one in Payday 2. I actually paid money for the sight gag. Why did I do that? The Deagle is a solid, dependable option for quickly dispatching of enemy heads, and as a result, it makes a great backup when you can't string a magazine together for the AK-17. And besides, the Deagle is also in Killing Floor, so it counts. I've opted for the Overkill Compensator, an accuracy boost, combined module, bling grip, extended mag, marksman sights, or any -1 sight with the scope mount, and the milled barrel. And not buying the medic skin because that was like $1 for the lightly marked, and I really blew it this time, didn't I? Right, the Trotman knife is our melee, mostly because it looks like the knife the Commando uses, and I was certain a knife like this existed in-game even though I didn't know its name. And because the Commando uses HE grenades, I've opted for the HEF to be authentic. Our perk deck is Armorer. The Commando can get both extra health and armor, but I couldn't make muscle work all that well, so I've opted for Armorer with the combined tactical vest, marking what I can only believe is the first time the CTV's been worn on the channel. Weird. Why didn't I go for the ICTV? Well, I didn't have the skill points. Where did they all go? Well, we'll talk about that when we get there, which is right now. For core skills, I've taken Aced Aggressive Reload and Mastermind, as I intend to use the AK-17 in single fire more often than auto fire. I've grabbed the basic forms of all skills in tank, plus Aced Shock and Awe, so I can grab basic Iron Man. I've spent points on ammo bags and fully loaded basic to mimic the level 15 prepared perk Commandos have. Someone is screaming like they're dying. What is happening? I have aced Steady Grip and taken basic fire control, sure fire, and lock and load to let us shoot on the move with ease. I have aced High Value Target to mimic the Commando's ability to call out cloaked Zeds, and grabbed Gun Nut aced, Trigger Happy Basic, Up to Go, and 9 Lives aced, and aced Bloodthirst to round out this build with boosts toward Deagle to help us thin crowds as well as stay alive and stay topped off with our mags. 8 points for Iron Man Aced is a bit of a steep price to pay, though you might be able to ditch fully loaded and trigger happy to afford the skill. The percentage boost to armor as well as the 2 seconds of invulnerability are really the MVPs here. That's what I was looking for. The bonus damage from Iron Man Basic as well as the invulnerability period from Armorer. All of this combined, we get sort of a commando, but how does it work? It does. What I've created is more or less what you'd expect from an armor battle rifle build. Go for headshots, switch to automatic to burst fire at enemies when needed, use the deagle to hit long range shots your AK just can't reach, melee enemies after running dry to speed up your reloads, and get to cover as soon as your armor breaks. It's kind of neat how well Killing Floor translates into a Payday 2 build. Just throw on the gas mask and some generic industrial metal and you've got... would you look at that? Are you ready to complete the holy circle of Unreal 3 games? Enter Borderlands 2, the one and only time Gearbox got it right. This is a fantastic semi-open world full of quests and loot, plenty of tough enemies, and lots of really wacky skills to invest in. You don't need a Nolan North little paper fortune teller that you made in elementary school to tell you where to go. Just follow the trail of enemies, and if you die, then you follow the trail of carnage back. This is a fantastic game, and I've beaten it with 2 different characters. But when it came to turning one of these enjoyably deranged criminals into a Payday build, I didn't want a katana or an axe or sentries or a giant purple energy ball. I actually went with a character I typically don't play, Salvador. Sal's entire gameplay loop revolves around gun-zerking, the act of dual-wielding any 2 guns and going to town for a few seconds to absolutely rip up opponents. Gun-zerking can be done with any 2 weapons, but when it comes to Payday 2, we're a bit more limited. Any secondary SMG, most pistols, and some shotguns can be dual-wielded, but only with the same weapon. I went with the Akimbo Jacobs revolvers for this build. Broncos. If you don't have homemade Broncos, store-bought Castigos or Matevers are fine. But for my Broncos, I've opted for wooden grips, aggressor barrels, and slimline bodies to turn these into a pair of highly accurate, highly deadly hand cannons I can empty into a dozer crowd wherever I need it. Jacobs is probably my favorite gun manufacturer in Borderlands 2 because their weapons are quick and easy to fire and very reliable, but if I had to pick a second favorite manufacturer, it's probably Torg. I like Vladov rifles, but Torg as an experience is great. I mean, all their weapons shoot exploding rounds, that's really all you need. I originally opted for an HE Grim or a Goliath, but that was a bit expensive and it didn't have the oomph I was looking for, so I went a bit bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, the Arbiter. This beast's been a bit crippled since we last saw it, and while 480 damage is by no means fantastic, we do have plans for what it can't usually kill. Launching grenades is nice and easy, there really isn't much drop-off, the reload's really quick, and it doesn't need any weapon mods to stay practical. I've given it a laser and a sight for convenience, though take it literally wherever you want. Just to put whatever you want on it, you really can't hurt this weapon. For our melee, I've opted for a Fistful of Hurt. Our bare hands will be doing the nitty-gritty in this build, and that's because our perk deck is Sociopath. Sociopath doesn't necessarily correlate to any one Salvador skill, but it helps fuel the gameplay loop of running and gunning into a Fistful of Hurt to trigger I'm the Juggernaut, stay alive late into the game. It felt right. I considered Grinder, but this was just so much cooler. I'm only opting for the light ballistic vest and incendiary grenade from this build as I really don't want to make this similar to the last one with heavier armor, and Sociopath in the suit just isn't typically a winning combination. And now our skills. Bear with me, this will all sound very stupid, but let me explain and then take a look for yourself, and as always, experiment a little bit to make these fit your needs a little more. If you need more health and less weapon damage, and you can make a good trade-off, then trade. So in Mastermind, I have Basic Joker and Aced Partners in Crime for extra health. In Enforcer, we have Underdog Aced, as we'll be constantly in the middle of a firefight via Sociopath. Aced Die Hard with Basic Shock and Awe and Bullseye to keep our armor shipshape. Aced Steady Grip with Basic Lock and Load in Technician to stay running, not unlike Salvador's The Bus That Can't Slow Down skill. What is that name? The Bus That Can't Slow Down. Second Wind Basic will mirror the Tier 1 Bronze skill in Sight, and Aced Equilibrium, Akimbo Desperado, One-Handed Talent, and Basic Trigger Happy and Gunslinger will act as our impromptu over-leveled I'm Your Huckleberry for Gunzerking Glory, and with Swan Song and Messiah mimicking Second Wind, and Bloodthirst constantly incentivize keeping the melee reload shoot combo going. We've got something good here. Oh, and Berserker on a regen. Yeah, okay, hold on. So the skill Just Got Real in Borderlands 2 increases Salvador's damage as he loses health, maxing out with a Beast or Devastator class mod to level 11, 88% weapon damage when he is low on health. Berserker Ace gives us 40% damage when at 30% health, which is what you would revive back to an overkill and below. And 80% damage when you're revived on Mayhem and above. 40% is also conveniently what the skill's regular cap is, and with the 80%, it just makes grinding kills with your fists very easily, so you can get out of a conflict safely. Or if you're feeling daring, then you can just kind of bunker down with your guns and do a whole lot of damage, so you get a little bit of interplay there. I am legitimately impressed with this chaotic build. Converts, Berserker, the Arbiter, Akimbo, and Health Regen all in the same Sociopath build just sounds like trouble. But working together, the only trouble around here is me, gunning down a surplus of enemies with dual revolvers or blowing them sky high with the Arbiter. If you don't get a kill with the grenade launcher, you can either convert the damaged enemies to boost your max health, or you can go in for an easy melee kill to bring yourself back from the brink. And because Sociopath also doubles as an armor deck, you can, to an extent, play this build at lower health values. Meleeing to keep yourself from death's door, and using the armor gained on kill from enemies at medium range to top yourself off on a constant basis. Salvador is not a character I typically like to play in Borderlands 2, but god damn, the concept for this build was so fun. I was so hyped to make it a reality so I could grab Borderlands 2 gameplay footage for this video. I played 2 hours of Borderlands 2 for this video, and it's like 15 minutes. And it's not even Borderlands 2 centric. This build's honestly fantastic. Not because it's particularly good, it's kind of like the jacket build I did a while back, but because everything was just so lined up to not be good, so destined to failure. I threw spaghetti at the wall seeing what would stick, so I could get an idea as what to leap from, but it all stuck to the wall, never moving, sticking the landing so perfectly it honestly scared me a little bit. This was a trip. Somehow both builds came from co-op games made in the Unreal 3 engine, and while I really don't know how I managed that, it's great seeing this sort of like interplay between how I guess 3 different co-op games function, and how you can kind of meet in the middle thanks to Payday 2. I don't know how they managed that one, but they did. Seeing what I could come up with to reflect the gestalts of iconic games and their loadouts is always a treat, and this was easily the most fun I've had with one of those videos yet. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and until next time, I will see you around. Hey, did you hear a voice crack in this video? Don't mention it in the comments. Like, I don't know what my throat is doing, it just kind of... the throat machine broke. Patreon and social media links, they're in the description, you know where they are. Where else would they be?